Understand how important it is in the big picture of things. It's getting close to March Madness, and bracketology is alive and well at this time of the year, and for the SEC to have the opportunity to compete against the Big 12 is a great opportunity for us. The Big 12 in the regular season the last several years has consistently been one of the premier conferences in the country, where the majority of their teams make the NCAA tournament. And then this Oklahoma State team has been a very consistent participant in NCAA tournament play. As far as our matchup is concerned, they are they're a really good team, and their record may not completely reflect that, in the sense that in the last 6 or 7 games, the only game they've won is Kansas, and but that's because they've lost to Oklahoma, at Texas, and at Baylor, and at Iowa State, and places like that, which are very difficult to win. So they're a good basketball team. They've got a great freshman point guard. He might be the best freshman point guard in the country, and that's no surprise. Everybody knew that coming in. Juwan Evans from Dallas. He'll be fun to watch. He's a tough cover, tremendous ability to get to the basket, great passer, tremendous vision, playmaker, and they run a lot of middle ball screen stuff that we struggled dearly with against Ole Miss and Florida, and we're going to have to figure out better ways of containing them in that middle ball screen action. It's tough to, in league play, for Oklahoma State, for Auburn to, be in a position where we're at 500, or in our case, below 500. The losses, they wear you down. They eat you up. And my focus with our team is to get us to continue to play hard and continue to improve. We took a step or two back this week.
Bruce, is it similar with Moody, where you're going to have to run different guys at Evans? Or would it be just because you don't want to take 35 minutes and have Canty running around for 35 minutes?
It would be similar with Moody, in the sense you can't guard him with one guy, and so you would definitely look to put different guys on him. And the other thing too is not just from a fatigue standpoint, but also foul trouble to protect a particular player. So I can't see us having one particular guy assigned to him.
Bruce, do you think this game comes at a good time for you guys? I mean, are you okay with it kind of breaking up the league schedule the way it is, or are you kind of happy? At least, I don't want to call it a breather, but you just know even if you lose, it doesn't hurt you more in the conference.
I think it's a great thing to take a pause from conference play, to step outside of conference, and the opportunity that all of our teams have. Our game's important to the league because the record will matter. Who's going to win this challenge? But it's an important opportunity for Kentucky to go to Kansas, to potentially get a meaningful road win, for Vanderbilt to play Texas in a matchup where that game's going to really help either team, teams with great size. For the country to get to see LSU and Oklahoma, and see LSU, which is potentially one of our most talented teams in our league, with the country's best player, going up against the country's best team right now, I think, in Oklahoma. Although Oklahoma, North Carolina, whatever, they're clearly one of the best teams in the country. We got a chance to see them out in Hawaii. So there are just some really, really good matchups across the league that I think are important.
Bruce, having it this time of year instead of in December, how much do you think that helps in terms of energy surrounding it? Because it's, you're not competing with college football bowl season now. It's just all
I think it's
basketball.
more. I don't think it's anything to do with the college football season. I think it has more to do with the fact that we're getting closer to March, and so now all of a sudden, here in February or January, late January, we're getting a look at some teams that are competing for seeding, like Kentucky. You know, right now, where would they be? Where they're ranked 4 or 5 seed or whatever, based on 4 regions, and if you're in a 4 seed, you're in the top 16 teams in the country, 5 seed top. So that's where the math says they are. A road win at Kansas, that knocks you up. That gets you to the 3 line or gets you to the 2 line, so on and so forth. Texas A&M, their matchup. What is that? What could that do for them? So it's an important game for seeding, and it's an important game for the bubble, and it's an important game for the conference, and so I think it comes at a great time.
Bruce, I wanted to wait a month into league play to ask you this, but with point of emphasis with officials and fouls and everything, have you noticed a difference, or are the games being called the same in Thanksgiving that now they're being called now?
I think the officiating has been pretty consistent. I think they started off calling it close, and I think players and coaches have adjusted. I think we really have, and as a result, scoring is up, and it's not just because we're shooting more free throws. Guys know that if they put their hands on dribble penetration, they're going to get called for a foul, so they're just not doing it as much. The thing in the lane, for me, with verticality, they referee the defense, and there's a lot more contact on the inside that I still don't think gets called because of the rules. You even see it in the NBA. You're a big guy, you get in that lane, you jump up in the air, you put both feet in there, no matter how much contact there is, it's no foul. And that used to be a foul. So getting adjusted to that is important, but I think they've been very consistent.
Bruce, what would you like to see from Sam that you didn't see in the last game?
Just more consistency.
Bruce, what would be the key to have carryover for TJ Lang? I mean, was there anything from just the beginning of the season? Was it him still coming off that knee injury? Kind of why he got off to a slower start?
TJ and Bryce are very similar in this regard. They both have great range, and they both have the ability to really guard. And guys that can shoot and can guard can play. And then as they begin to expand their games with their ball handling and take the ball to the basket, both, being a freshman and sophomore, they're really good young players that it's exciting to see their improvement and their potential. You see the potential, and in some cases you see the improvement. TJ improved tremendously during his freshman year. And I would say that his improvement this year from freshman to sophomore was disappointing at the start of the year. Now maybe that's because Taj was playing, TJ Dunnins was playing, there was more other guys there, and he wasn't quite getting the opportunity, but he's been a pretty consistent starter. But now that we're relying on him more and have been since SEC play, it's just good to see him get the opportunity and take advantage of it. Then I just hope he can build on it.
Any reason Sam was only able to play 18 minutes at Ole Miss?
Just there were some issues with effort, focus, attitude that are being addressed.
Bruce, it's something that seems to get a lot of attention during bowl season, as they always talk about what the conference bowl record for all. Is that like this challenge of winning? I mean, how much is there really a thing of conference pride, or is that just something that it never comes up in conversation between you and other league coaches?
Well, you know what? I think it comes up in conversation recruiting, and I've just always been so impressed with the SEC in football, not just because of their dominance, and I've talked about it many, many times. I don't even think it's close with any other league with SEC football. There are teams that have won conference championships in other Power 5 conferences that have a good chance to finish last in the SEC West in football. I don't mind saying it because I believe it. I've always believed it. But I love the way the SEC travels. Yeah, I love, and I've been in the league for a long time, and I just think it's great that when we host a football game, there are 20,000 fans from another school in our town and tailgating on our campus. And great friendships and rivalries have been developed based on the love of our schools, so on and so forth. So that when we win in a non-conference in football, in a bowl game, or in a national championship, the fans are cheering SEC, SEC. That's how it is. When Kentucky wins in basketball, they cheer SEC. They do. And so there's great pride in the conference. Now, I don't know that we have enough of that in basketball. And that's what I think the coaches in the league are trying to get to. So I do hope that our players embrace this opportunity, because Oklahoma State is a formidable opponent. They're really good. And it'll be a great challenge for us. But there's a great responsibility, having been selected as one of the 10 teams to represent the league, to compete and represent.
How would you assess Kareem's struggles the last couple games? Obviously, not nearly as effective as he was those previous 4 games.
I tell you, one of the things that I was pleased about with Kareem was, he really was, at halftime of the Ole Miss game, he hadn't scored a point, but he had 6 points and six rebounds and 6 assists, and we had a 1-point lead. And he was great in the locker room. He was really good. And I actually think in the second half, I think the fact that he hadn't scored was on his mind a little bit. But when an opponent's going to take you away, then you got to get the other guy shots, and if they take you away, that's their choice. That's what they've done. They're double teaming you. Then just continue to be that playmaker. And I just like the fact that what bothered him wasn't so much the fact that he didn't score as much as we lost and didn't play well in the second half. So if teams take him away, then he needs to continue to get guys shots and make plays and rebound and defend and help us win, knowing that he's always a very, very dangerous threat to score.
I'm guessing there's no update on Purifoy.
No, but expecting something soon, and I know I've said that before, but we are.
We're good? All right. Thank you.